Imagine being home alone and realizing you're not as alone as you thought. Welcome to Frightful Fables, where true horror comes to life. Tonight, we bring you 3 terrifying tales of intruders, unexplained events, and loyal companions who save the day. So, dim the lights and let's begin. Story 1: The Man Under the Couch. When I was a kid, my family lived in a large, old house. It had a room at the back of the first floor that we barely used. We called it the second living room. It was plain, just an old recliner, a couch, and a small table. One morning, I woke up feeling sick. My mom told me to stay home from school while the rest of my family went about their day. By mid-morning, I was lying in bed when I heard footsteps downstairs. I assumed my mom had come back home, so I got up to grab something to eat. But as I stepped into the kitchen, I froze. A tall man stood there, wearing tattered clothes. He stared at me, motionless, his face blank. I couldn't move. I just stood there, my heart racing. Then, something clicked in my head. I ran upstairs, locked my bedroom door, and shoved a dresser in front of it. With trembling hands, I called my mom. Instead of the police, I screamed into the phone, telling her someone was in the house. She calmed me down and told me to call 911 immediately. When the police arrived, they searched the house but found no one. Everything seemed normal, until one officer noticed a Walmart bag sticking out from under the couch in the side room. What they discovered sent chills down my spine. Trash bags, rotting food, and even personal items like water bottles and wipes. The man had been living under our couch for weeks without anyone noticing. The thought of him being there, listening, watching, it still haunts me. Story 2: Cecil Saves the Day. I was a teenager, home alone for the weekend while my parents attended a wedding. My plan was simple: relax, eat pizza, play some games, and watch TV with my old beagle, Cecil. Cecil was lazy and quiet, the kind of dog who preferred napping over barking. But that night, something was different. Around 1 a.m., I heard a loud bang from the alleyway behind our house. I ignored it, thinking it was just the usual city noise. Then, Cecil did something he'd never done before. He jumped off the couch, ran to the basement door, and started barking furiously. His growls were deep and aggressive, nothing like his usual self. My adrenaline kicked in. Grabbing a baseball bat from under my bed, I cautiously approached the basement. As I descended the stairs, Cecil darted ahead of me, barking louder than ever. That's when I heard a voice, deep and startled. "Oh, shh." The banging on the basement door stopped, and whoever it was ran off. The next morning, my brother and I inspected the door. It was hanging by a thread. One more shove, and they would have been inside. Cecil, my lazy old dog, had scared off an intruder and possibly saved my life. Years later, when Cecil passed away, I thanked him one last time. He wasn't just a dog, he was a hero. Story 3: The Voice in the Storm. I was 13 when this happened. A thunderstorm had rolled in, and because we lived in Tornado Alley, I slept downstairs in my dad's room whenever the weather got bad. It was past midnight, and the rain was pounding against the house. I was on my phone, trying to distract myself, when I heard my dad's car pull into the driveway. His car had a distinct bass that was hard to miss. I waited for him to come inside, but after a few minutes, I realized something strange. The car bass sound hadn't faded away. It still echoed in the driveway. Curious, I walked to the window, but when I looked outside, there was no car. The driveway was empty. I brushed it off as a passing car on the nearby highway. But then I heard coughing, my dad's cough, coming from the garage. My stomach dropped. The garage door hadn't opened. How could he be inside? I froze in place, listening. Moments later, I heard my dad's voice softly call my name from upstairs. My heart raced. My dad wasn't supposed to be home until 2 a.m. And why would he be upstairs if I'd heard him in the garage? My dog, who was lying next to me, didn't react. He seemed completely unbothered. That's what scared me the most. I stayed perfectly still, too terrified to move, until I eventually fell asleep. When I woke up around 4 a.m., my dad's car was in the driveway. I ran upstairs to tell him what happened. He assured me he hadn't been home earlier. To this day, I don't know who or what was calling my name that night, but every time it storms, I can't help but remember. That's it for tonight's Frightful Fables. Remember, sometimes the scariest things are closer than you think. Under your couch, at your door, or even in your own home. If these stories sent chills down your spine, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more terrifying tales. Until next time, stay safe